Well, hello, my YouTube friends. So this whole oven thing, and I haven't worked on it for a few days. I knew what I had to do. The last thing I did was determine that I needed a junction box. So I went and bought that, all those parts. I cleaned up this wiring so I could see exactly what was happening, what the ground wires were. Um, I had to cut a hole right there because I didn't know what was, like these wires right there. You see that one goes into the stud? I didn't know what was going to be on the other side of it. And I'm going to mount this junction box on this bracket. I'm going to screw this block right here to the stud, and you can see it's already mounted to like this piece of wood. But I had to cut another hole to find out what was going on right there because I don't want to screw into a wire. All right, okay, so this is very uncomfortable down here. So this situation right here, what you're looking at right there, that's good and bad. Okay, so they're good and bad, and the point of this will be made clear in a moment because we're going to look at this dictionary. It's my 1934 Funk and Wagnalls dictionary. I like old reference books because they don't care about your feelings, but I don't like filming sitting down here. So let's move up to the table and we'll continue this video. Hold on. Okay, this is a lot more comfortable. Man, it was trying to film down there. It was getting ridiculous. So here's my Funk and Wagnalls Deaf Standard Dictionary, a true classic. All right, I love the classics. And I love old dictionaries because they don't care about your feelings. And we're going to get the dictionary definition of two words today. And the first word being the word good. And that can be found right here. Let me move this into position. There we go. All right, so here's the word good. Okay, so here's your first definition. Having physical qualities that are useful or that can be made productive of comfort. Okay, having physical properties that are useful. Okay, number two, having admirable moral or spiritual qualities. Here's three, having kindly social qualities. Number four, having fitness for some work or need. Adequate, competent, serviceable. All right, so I'm interested in number one, having physical qualities that are useful or that can be made productive. And number four, having fitness for some work or need. Okay, and you can use your own dictionary or Google it or whatever to get more definitions for the word good. All right, now we're going to go to the word bad. Okay. We're going to go to the word bad. And the word bad can be found on this page. All right, so here's the word bad. And opposite to good in any manner or degree. All right, disagreeable, vicious, wicked, lacking, deficient, incorrect, okay, of little or no value, worthless, unprofitable, hurtful, synonym, abandoned, abominable. And so they got a whole list of synonyms, and they also have a list of antonyms up here. You can see it right there, antonym. See synonyms for good. Okay, so good and bad are similar to each other or opposite each other or whatever. So all good things come from God and all bad things come from man. So, I mean, you're looking right here. Look at this table. the wood is good, suitable. It can be made profitable, suitable, whatever that's. But the finish is bad. Okay, the finish is because of me. The wood and the wood grain is because of God. Now, let's go back to. Well, let me take a picture and I'll show you the picture. Okay, you saw it already, but that way you can refresh your memory. So what's bad about it is the incredibly horrid job that the contractor did for me. It's just terrible, right? I had to buy a new junction box, and the whole thing is just a nightmare down there. The wire's not clamped going into the junction box that exists. It's just terrible. Okay, but that's the result of man. That's the result of a man. A man did that. Okay, but the wires, the wires are made of copper. Copper was made by God. So the good part of that, suitability for a purpose, the copper wire, that came from God. The lousy job, that came from man. So everything that's good came from God. So, in me personally, all my joys, whether they be great or small, came from God. When I'm at work, I'm outside a lot, and all day, hours of the day and night, and I've seen so many beautiful things in the sky. There's a lot of wildlife near by the plant. I've seen a roadrunner out there. There's a bunch of cottontails that live on the property. There were some gray foxes living in an abandoned building. Ducks come and land in the ponding basin. All of these things, they bring me joy while I'm, at work. And all of those things are from God. And now my problems are of my own creation. Like I got to get a smog check here. Okay. I've known about this like the whole year. And so instead of working on it during the summer and all year long, and I didn't do that. I procrastinated. I waited. What I waited for was for the DMV to send me the renewal slip, but I still could have been fixing the codes, and now I'm chasing a bunch of codes, and I'm working on this, and I'm under the pressure. Okay, whose fault is that? That's my fault. So my problem is of my own creation. Okay, not all of my problems are of my own creation. Like another man created the nightmare that is the hookup for my oven. Someone else created that, but still a man created that. There was a pastor, and he didn't like me very well. He ran me off. His every sermon was like aimed at me, and I could tell he didn't want me there, which was interesting. I would think that his ministry could withstand like one dude on a Harley, but apparently not. He's not there anymore, so I've been going back to the church. But he stated correctly, and this was one of his things. I don't know if he thought it up himself or where he saw it, but it goes like this. His saying, all man-made systems trend toward maximum disorder. So everything built by man will fail. Everything built by man will eventually fail. Only nature, which was made by God, over time will come into a perfect balance. A man-made system over time will trend toward maximum disorder. So all good things come from God, and all bad things are the result of man. Sin entered into the world as a result of the actions of man. Well, a woman and a man, but sin and corruption, we have to put off corruption and put on incorruption, and the political corruption and that kind too. But all of these things are the result of man, right? And everything good, right? The fruit that Adam and Eve were eating came from God, right? Everything that's good comes from God. everything that brings you joy, your family or whatever it might be, is from God, right? We don't create life. We cannot create life. God creates life. And so our family members that bring us so much joy, and I don't have kids, but those of you that do have kids, right? They bring you joy, and God brought them into being, and they're bringing you joy, and then they get in trouble, right? But that's their actions. So the anger you're feeling is a result of man, but the joy that you're feeling is the result of God. And so in my life, I've had my ups and downs, right? And I've had some bad downs, I mean, now, my ups and downs have been pretty low, and I ain't trying to act like, I have like the worst life story of anyone. I have a pretty awful darn good life story, if you ask me. So of all the bad things that have ever happened to me, I've never once blamed God. I always blamed myself. And I look at like, okay, so even this oven thing, I am partly responsible for that because I let the man do it unsupervised, and I didn't like ask more questions and get more involved with what he was doing. And so I am partly to blame for that too. I mean, so that's the result of man. So no matter how bad things have been for me, I've never blamed God. And I'm more mature now. I mean, there was a time when I was younger, I would blame other people for my problems. But a root cause analysis of my problems will almost 100% determine that I was the source of them. Okay. All right. So for the verse of the day, we're going to go to the book of Job, chapter 2. And we're not going to read verse 3. Oh, no, wait. We are going to read verse 3. And we're not. Oh, no. Which one is it? Sorry. Okay, here it is. Let me move this. We're going to read verse 9. We might as well read verse 10 while we're there because it kind of, even though it doesn't. Anyway, so Job chapter 2, verse 9. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? In all of this, Job did not sin with his lips. Okay, now Job, he didn't say that we receive evil from God, right? He said we receive good at the hand of God. Shall we not receive evil? So, we have the ups and the downs, right? We have good and bad things that happen to us all the time. And there's another interesting, so on verse 9, let's read verse 9 again. And it's almost an instruction. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. Now, she may have meant like it would be merciful if he died and his pain, Job's pain, will be ended. So it's possible that she meant it in a nice way, if you can. But that's like also an instruction right there, or a warning. Curse God and die. So, even today for us, through the millennia, that sentence right there, curse God and die. It's a warning and an instruction. An instruction you should not follow, but it can be considered an instruction. All right, my friends, you have a good day.